week we're going to be taking a look at the Humble Bundle sales. There's a lot of great games from Capcom, I know again, Bandai Namco and Konami for me to talk about. I should note that I didn't realize that this was a two-part sale, so a lot of what I talked about last week is no longer on sale. However, there's still some really great games to talk about in these sales, so let's get started. Just a heads up, the games from Capcom are on sale till around September 4th, and the games from Namco Bandai are on sale until around the 31st. Just my estimates, giving the timer Humble Bundle shows. Anyways, let's get talking about games. First is the Disney Afternoon Collection from Capcom. Ordinarily, it's $20. It's on sale for $5. And yeah, these games are real bangers, especially DuckTales and Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. They're really fun. You also get some of the rare sequels, like Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers 2 and DuckTales 2, that cost an arm and a leg on the NES. All of these games for $5, and they're all really good. Even Tailspin, which isn't perfect, is pretty good. So check this game out. Then we have Capcom Beat 'em Up Collection. Capcom was pretty popular in the arcades back in the day, and while Double Dragon may have been the first beat 'em up, Final Fight took the concept and elevated it to the next level to make the first beat 'em up that truly felt fluent in the motions. And Capcom would continue to develop the formula with other games like Captain Commando and Knights of the Round. Definitely worth $9.99. Then we have the Devil May Cry collection for $9.89. Now, Devil May Cry kind of happened because Capcom was creating Resident Evil 4, and the team they gave it to had too much freedom and developed something that wasn't a Resident Evil game and had to be retooled. Still, these are really fun. They're not much for plot exposition, which is good, because these games are all about action. I had a fun so far from the collection. I played through 1 and 3. I haven't played 2 yet, and from what I hear, I probably shouldn't. Anyways, continuing on to the non-Capcom stuff finally, we have the Stanley Parable, which is $7.49. It's around half off. It usually goes for about $15. It's a little indie gem. Basically, you're in a game that's going to troll you a lot. But the plot is that you're an employee in kind of this mind control simulator, and you can go through the story beats and do everything you want for freedom, or you can do the exact opposite the narrator suggests, just to see how much you can piss them off or how many secret endings you can find. It only takes about 5 to 10 minutes to play through the game, but there is a lot of extra endings or extra things you can trigger, so it ends up being about 7 or 8 minutes with how many times you have to play through it, and it's incredibly fun. Then we have Coda Princess, ordinarily $10. It's on sale for $2.99. This is a straight-up port of the 3DS game. It's not even smoothed out, but I had a fun time with it. Especially if you like Guardian Heroes and that style of beat 'em up, it's definitely worth checking out. Then we have Tales of Symphonia, which is $20. Normal price is $4.99. Whenever Namco has a sale on PC games, you know Symphonia is going to be on it for $5. I talk about this game to death, but it's a great game. PC port may not be the best quote-unquote version of the game, but it's probably the best HD version of the game, giving you back some of the colored lines and giving you a halfway decent frame rate. Namco did a great job patching out all the bugs, so I do recommend this one. Then we get to Tales of Vesperia, which is on sale for $10. Now this is probably my favorite Tales game, with one of my favorite protags in JRPGs, Yuri Lowell. Yuri is not some emo punk or some idealistic youth. Yuri is a hardened and cynical soldier who gets dragged along on a misadventure that of course leads to something threatening the world. But it starts with him just wanting to get a jewel back that will help the lower slums get access to clean water. Throw in an interesting cast and some really funny gags, and I love this game, at least the first 2/3. It's unlike any JRPG you've ever played. The last third slips a bit, but it's still good. Throw in some of the best combat and just really fun gameplay, and $9.99 is a steal. Next is the Castlevania Anniversary Collection. I do like my classic Castlevanias. Nothing like stepping into Dracula's castle with only a whip as a weapon and dealing with some hard as heck platforming challenge to make it a really fun game. Castlevania, Castlevania 3, Super Castlevania 4, Castlevania Bloodlines, and the never-released Kid Dracula are super great games. Castlevania 2, my verdict's still out, and you're not missing anything if you decide to skip the Game Boy Castlevania games. Speaking about Game Boy Advance Castlevania games that are worth playing, let's start talking about the Castlevania Advance Collection. It's a bit of an odd collection because you get my least favorite worst Castlevania game in Castlevania Dracula X for the Super Nintendo, and that should not be mistaken for the gem for the TurboGrafx called Rondo of Blood. Despite the assets flops, the Super Nintendo game just misses the beat every time. It's overly challenged and just garbage. That said, the rest of the collection follows two really flawed Game Boy Advance games that are still kind of fun, Circle of the Moon and Harmony of Dissonance. And then finally, my favorite Castlevania game in Ario of Sorrow. And Ario of Sorrow is worth $9.99 just for it alone. And Circle of the Moon and Harmony of Dissonance are definitely worth trying. Just skip that mess that is the Super Nintendo Castlevania Dracula X. Well, folks, there are some of my recommendations. If this video was helpful for you, please leave a like. I'll see you guys later. Bye.